few weeks ago, mention was made of reviewing all decisions made by the previous government between September 30th and November 18th. One such decision was the land swap agreement with Port Pleasant. In this agreement, Port Pleasant would transfer a parcel of land in Cold Bay to the government of St. Martin, and the government would issue in long lease a parcel of land at Kimshaw Beach in Simpson Bay. After carefully reviewing that agreement, that agreement is not in the best interest of the country, and I have informed the party in question by letter of my decision. One of the major issues with the agreement is that the Kimshaw property that is owned by government has a subdivision plan and is zoned for the purpose of creating public parking. That is law, that is established. The agreement indicated that the parcel of land will be given to develop a resort in that area. So the agreement states that we would give the property to a company owned by Port Pleasant, and they are allowed to build a resort, and law states that property is only to be used as public parking. The agreement indicated that the parcel, as I said, is given for the development of a resort. So the subdivision for that parcel, which is law, and the agreement contradicts each other. To change the land purpose, that can only be done by the establishment of zoning plans. Zoning plans are in preparation, and a draft zoning plan for the area in question is reserved for parking as well. The only way that we can change the purpose of the property is through zoning plans, and zoning plans are established by the Parliament of St. Martin. So by giving the land and agreeing to the development of a resort, you're putting government in a bind, because the situation could arise where Parliament could agree with the draft zoning and establish that the property can only be used for parking, and then government would have an issue where an agreement is given to a party that they are allowed to build a resort, and the law states that the property can only be used for parking. So with that in mind, and seeing the need for public parking in that area, I have made a decision to revoke the previous agreement, and I have informed the party of such. Hearing rumors of the creation of a parking on the Great Bay Beach, adjacent, close to the Walter Plants Square, somehow the impression is given that Vromi is or has granted permission to the Harbor Group of Companies to build a parking lot on the beach at Great Bay. Based on the information I received, a meeting was held with the Harbor Group of Companies and the Ministry of Vromi in April of this year. The meeting was to discuss the plans of the harbor for the Great Bay area. In that meeting, different ideas was brought forward, and after the meeting, a letter was sent in July from the ministry to the harbor requesting a follow-up on the meeting to discuss areas of cooperation between the harbor and the ministry. One such area is parking in the Phillipsburg area, as that can be an annoyance for visitors and locals as well. Since our email to the Harbor Group of Companies in April, and we have not received a response as yet. I want to make clear, because I saw an article in the Daily Herald yesterday, and there was I believe on page 5, an artist rendition, an artist impression of the future plans, and there was an area reserved for temporary parking on the beach. I have not seen an advice. I have informed by the SG of the ministry. There is no request in for the creation of a parking in that area. So permission was not granted. There is no request submitted. We have clear policies in place, the beach policy, that prohibits any kind of development on the public beaches. So I want to make clear that if a request is submitted to the ministry, that request will be evaluated based on the current policies that we have in place. An advice will be sent to my person, and a decision will be made. But it will be based on, not hearsay, but based on the policies that government has in place. So I want to put that rumor to rest. No request has been submitted. No permission has been granted to establish a parking lot on the beach in Great Bay. And once again, I have informed, and I probably could know a little bit where those rumors are coming from, but I want everyone to be reassured that once a request has been submitted, it will be evaluated based on the policies we have in place, and a decision will be made, and the public will be informed of it.
Superpowers.
Powers?
It makes people suddenly appear.
Really? You appeared.
It makes people suddenly appear.
At the right time.
Santa!
Festive feast from KFC. The taste that brings everyone together. So good.
Bob, I can understand why you're parking so carefully. Of course, when you can get 80% discount on your Be Sure car insurance. But that's overdoing it, Bob.
Are you be sure? Be sure.
Yeah! Oh my, what an inventory list, and so unnecessary. But wait, your home contents are all insured by Be Sure. That means that you determine the amount you want to insure. No inventory list, no hassle.
Are you be sure? Be sure.
I'm feeling funny, man. I feel like I get a pain in my chest.
I got this.
You sure?
Yes. It's 30 breaths and 2 compression. Give her air.
Oh, Monique, look, she waking up.
No, Fernand. It is not 30 breaths and 2 compressions. It is 30 compressions and 2 breaths. CPR can be done in 3 simple steps. Step 1, check and call. Step 2, press down or pump. Step 3, below.
I got it now. It's 30 compression and 2 breaths. CAB.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Need a loan that's quick and easy. Island Finance. Up to 50,000 guineas real easy. Island Finance. For education, a renovation. That's no problem. Yes, it's true. That's not all. They're quick and friendly too. Island Finance. Appliances, vacations, even fix your car. You can depend on Island Finance.
Council of Ministers met with the Coalition of Eight to discuss several issues as we are preparing the Action Program 2016. And I say Action Program because, as you know, when the Governing Accord was signed, we have decided then that we would endorse the coalition governing program of red, white, and blue that was established and written in 2014 for the governing period 2014-2018. However, this government has taken office towards the ending, well, the 19th of November. And by the time the entire matter of postponing the election was settled with the governor, and the signing of the national decree, we basically have 9 months left before the next election. So what the coalition has decided is to to bring about the necessary changes to the governing program, to adopt it rather, not make changes necessarily, but to adopt the governing program, which was a 4-year program, into actually a 9-month action plan. That action plan, when completed, will be, of course, released via the media to the people of St. Martin. One of the things that I discussed and outlined to the Coalition of Eight and to the Council of Ministers was some of my ideas as it pertains to the needed electoral reform to ensure, particularly one of the things that has taken center stage in the whole discussion after the motion of no confidence of September 30th was to address the issue of ship jumping. Why particularly the issue of ship jumping? It's because the government then took a decision to dissolve Parliament because the government felt it was time to put an end to ship jumping. One of the things that I have always publicly stated was that the changes to our electoral law in the manner in which one becomes a member then of the Island Council and now a member of Parliament has a lot to do with the mindset and the mentality of one who is elected. Why I say that? It's because prior to the changes of the law, which were promoted at the time by the late Edgar Lynch, who was Commissioner with responsibility for constitutional affairs at the time, when the law was changed and the system of preferential votes were changed, whereby you are elected based on the amount of votes that you get. So if a party gets 5 seats, the persons with the highest number of seats, votes rather, the one with the most votes gets the first seat. The one with the second highest number of votes gets the second, third, fourth, and fifth seat. What that has created in the parties is heavy competition between the members of that party, the candidates on the list. It has resulted in some cases where members of the same party criticize each other, sometimes publicly, in order to get the edge one over the other. We have seen in the recent parliamentary election where a recount was requested, and I'm sure there is a picture of one MP raising his hands when the recount resulted in a tie between two members of the same party, resulting in the one that was placed higher on the list getting that seat. That has created enormous competition, and there are those who say, well, it's healthy competition and the voice of the people will be heard, but it also brought with it a mentality of, I am going to shop around to see which is the list that would give me the bigger opportunity, the better chances of getting elected. So we have seen members, politicians, switch from one party to another, or literally shop around to see where can I be placed on a list that will benefit me most. I have had candidates in 2010 following our 3-0 win at the polls in the parliamentary elections of January 2010, when the National Alliance slate was very strong, but also following the 2010 Island Council elections in September 2010, when some seven of the top 10 vote getters came from the National Alliance slate, that people, politicians, were worried about their ability to get elected on the slate of the National Alliance. So the focus has shifted from what it used to be over the years. You're a team player of a certain political party to becoming now an individual player, because naturally the person wants to get elected, so you look at where are my chances better.
So what's your idea of holiday happiness? Watching the kids open presents? Cooking in our new kitchen? The look on his face? Add to your holiday happiness with a loan from Scotiabank, and you could win a trip for two to Miami and other great prizes. Visit your Scotiabank branch today and talk to a representative about getting your loan. Contest ends January 15th. Conditions apply. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
2,
3,
4. This is how common it is to develop a mental illness. 1 out of every 4.
4,
4,
4. But there is hope. Today, most mental illnesses can be managed and treated. Visit your general doctor if you feel concerned about your thoughts and behaviors or have some difficulty dealing with some of life's issues.
If you have been diagnosed and are suffering from a mental illness, keep in mind these 4 points to help you manage your mental health.
1. Get regular checkups with your general doctor.
2. Stay on your treatment plan to prevent relapses.
3. Find a strong support group in your family and friends.
and 4. Never be afraid to ask for help and look out for the warning signs of your illness.
Remember, you are not alone. We are as close as one.
2.
3.
4.
Learn about mental health illness by going to the Mental Health Foundation's website at www.mhf-sxm.com.
I've been in office roughly a month and a half, and I want to announce that we have finalized the selection of the cabinet members for the Ministry of VSA. We received well over 100 applications from all around the community. I think it's a clear validation that the process, the open process of selecting the cabinet members was the correct process and a robust process. I think in the end, we looked for a number of factors. Obviously, educational background, experience, but in the end, you know, we're very much looking to build a team. So how the staff members interact with each other, how their skills and knowledge complement each other was obviously a critical factor. So there are obviously many candidates who applied and who had terrific references and terrific resumes. But in the end, when we looked to put together a team, there were factors beyond just what their capacities were. So some of the team members that we've chosen, some are on vacation, so otherwise I would bring them in here to let you meet them personally. But Dr. Cornelius Baumann, he's a senior specialist. He's actually a medical doctor by profession, has a master's degree in business administration, and has worked as an occupational physician at Shell in the Netherlands. In his many years of experience, he's helped to bring down healthcare costs for large multinational companies. And I think that in the efforts that VSA is going through in terms of healthcare reform and helping to bring healthcare costs into control, I think he's an excellent member of the team. Ms. Ellen Kanoffel, she's a legal advisor. She's a lawyer by profession, master's in law. She worked at the Cabinet of Justice as a legal specialist for 3 years. This is a great story, actually. As a result of our newspaper article and of our advertisement, she was one of the first applicants. She saw the ad by noon. She'd sent her resume by 1 o'clock. By 3 o'clock, she was in my office for an interview, and by the next morning, we had an in-principle agreement to hire her. And this is a person that, you know, I would never have sort of bumped into, not really in the circle in which that I move, and so this is a direct result of our advertising campaign. Miss Elisa Rios, she's an expectant mother. She's expected to be due sometime in the spring. Master's in public administration, specializing in public policy, lobbying, and media, and she's worked in the Cabinet of Education as a policy advisor. Mr. Selby Phillip, policy advisor. He has a master's in public administration. He's worked 4 years in the Department of Labor as a policy advisor. And Ms. Samira George, our executive secretary / PR. She has 2 associate degrees in business management and business information system. And she comes from the staff bureau of the Ministry of VSA, where she worked as secretary to the SG for the past 4 years. So she brings good perspectives of the ministry itself. In addition to the paid members of the cabinet, I also have 2 other members who basically volunteer their time. And that's Mr. Roy Marlin, He obviously is a member of the Democratic Party family. And on behalf of the Democratic Party, I'd like to extend our condolences to the Marlin family. As a matter of fact, I saw his brother just a couple days before he passed away, and he looked in tremendous health, so really quite a shock to us. But he's volunteering his time. He comes in on an occasional basis, obviously these days less. But he brings with him experience as a civil servant, as a commissioner, island council member, and a member of parliament. I think that his knowledge and experience of how government functions has been an invaluable resource to me. And Mr. Jim Rosen, he's working for a symbolic gilder. He's here in the office in the administration building, I would say almost on a full-time basis. But these are two individuals that are so committed to the vision that we've laid out of open government and who believe in the plan that we've laid out for the Ministry of VSA, that they've volunteered their expertise, their time, to the interest of the country. So I'm proud of the team we've put together.